Hi again then guys, and welcome to another straight line build for Forza Horizon 3, and this time we're tuning one of my personal favourite cars in the game. One of my favourite cars in real life too though, actually, and definitely my favourite Corvette ever, the C4 ZR-1. Love the look of this car, and the performance, even now, is really quick for what this car could do back then, and for its time, it was very technologically advanced as well. A highly electronic car, if you will. Now, as far as the upgrades on this particular model, I would recommend an engine swap, and pretty obviously, I would recommend that 1500 horsepower option. I would always recommend that if you're looking for sheer outright speed. As far as drivetrain, of course, all-wheel drive, unless you're opposed to it specifically. Twin turbo, again, fairly obviously. As far as the visuals, like the rims, that's down to you. If you like the way this one looks, and you want to just get the tune straight on your car, you can of course find it on my storefront, so just check out the video description for keywords to find that quickly. But apart from that, if you'd rather do it yourself, then of course upgrade the power, lower the weight, increase the grip, all that kind of obvious stuff. Basically fit everything which has racing in the title. And as you can see from the inside of the car, we are running a roll cage. So I would recommend that. Some cars you don't need it, others it does benefit, and this is one which I would say it does benefit from that. Now, as far as the tuning on this car, to unlock all the potential that the car has, or at least the majority of it, the benchmark is giving you good numbers. 2.3 to 60 is good, 4.3 to 100 is very good, and flat out 270. That's not bad at all. It's not the quickest of Corvettes, of course not, but it ain't slow, that's for sure. Now, as far as the gearbox, I would recommend a final drive of 2.7, then individual gears, which should be fairly familiar to some people who have been on my channel before. 2.9 for first, then 2, 1.5, 1.15, 0.95 and 0.85. Alignment, we've got neutral, camber and toe. Again, as always, if you want to change that up, that's perfectly fine. It's down to personal preference. I've gone for 6 degrees of caster. As far as anti-roll, we've got those on 30 and 20. Springs on 170 and 190 with the lowest ride height. Dampers we've got on 13 and 6. Aero doesn't apply, and as far as the diff, we've got 100% on acceleration, 0 on decel, and as far as the centre split on this particular car, we've gone quite specific, 74% in favour of the rear, because if you make it higher than that, say 75, then it does start to degrade the benchmark a little bit. So it depends what you want, because of course numbers aren't the be-all and end-all, it's more about what the car can actually do. And speaking about what the car can actually do, let's find out what it can do by taking it out on the road. Now, as I mentioned, this is one of my favourite cars in the game purely for the fun of driving it, and it is by far my favourite Corvette. I'm not really sure why it's my favourite, there's just something about this car that appeals to me more than all of the Corvettes before and after it. Guess that's kind of the definition of a favourite car. Now, this particular model is an older car. It's a performance car, but it's an older one, so can it still cut it? Well, the simple short answer is yes. It's still monstrously quick in a straight line, and the handling, as you can see, is still very playful. Now, if it's too playful, maybe a little bit too tail-happy, you can of course lower the centre split in particular to say 70, maybe even lower if you need it to be, but overall it's a surprisingly forgiving car for its age and its power, and it gives you incredible performance. Obviously, if you extend the final drive even more, in other words make that number even lower, you can get it to go even quicker with slipstream. But that's it overall for this tune. Of course you can check out more on the channel and sub down below to see more in the future. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.